Hello, students. I'm back again with another new poem that is A Thing of Beauty, written by John Keats. You must be all knowing who is John Keats, isn't it? Actually, John Keats was an English romantic lyric poet whose verse is known for its vivid imagery and great sensuous appeal. His reputation grew after his early death. That means before, when he died, normally people came to know about him very nicely, his importance, the way he wrote, and he was greatly admired in the Victorian age. His influence can be seen in the poetry of Alfred Lord Tennyson and the Pre-Raphaelites, among others. John Keats was an English poet prominent in the second generation of Romantic poets with Lord Byron and P.B. Shelley, that is Percy Bysshe Shelley, although his poems had been published for only 4 years when he died of tuberculosis at the age of 25. A Thing of Beauty is an excerpt from Keats' first epic poem, Endymion, a poetic romance. This poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a young shepherd and a poet who lived on Mount Latmos, had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. The enchanted youth resolved to seek her out and so wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. The theme of the poem is nature, beauty, and youth. Keats loved beauty to the extent that he almost worshipped it. This excerpt voices the poet's eternal love for beauty. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. This beautiful line has a very, we can say, depth. If we try to understand this line, it is really having a very deep meaning. A beautiful thing is a source of never ending joy. Here, the poet is speaking about the permanent nature of beautiful things, which gives us eternal joy, a never ending joy, a satisfaction, happiness. It leaves an indelible mark on our minds and we actually relieve the joyful experience whenever we think about it. कभी भी एक खूबसूरत सा चीज़ के बारे में आप सोचोगे तो आपको एक अद्भुत सी खुशी महसूस होती है. That is an eternal joy, we can say. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It becomes more beautiful, enchanting with the passage of time, when the time passes, or with the pass of time. Whenever we think about a very beautiful thing, actually our joy multiplies. It increases in numbers, we can say. It will never pass into nothingness. It is never forgotten. Its loveliness never fades away. It never disappears, we can say. The joy that it provides us, the beautiful thing, the joy that the beautiful thing provides us, it is really eternal. It is never ending, but will keep a bower quiet for us. A beautiful thing is like a bower or a shady place, we can say. A shady place which gives us a sleep full of sweet dreams. When we sleep, we dream. The dreams can be sometimes sweet, can be sometimes scary sometimes, but a beautiful thing, when you think of a beautiful thing, you will never get a scary dream. You will always get a sweet dreams when you sleep. So, a beautiful thing is like a bower or a shady place. It's a good source of peace. When we are very much tensed, when we are tired of thinking or doing the other course, that time a beautiful thing or its memory, it heals us. It heals the sorrow. It gives a relaxation to the mind, we can say. A bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. That is, memories of the beautiful things comes in our dreams. Suppose you have done very hectic work all around the day. At night, when you think about it, you will not get beautiful or sweet dreams. But yes, if you have done a good thing in your daytime, then that peace, that happiness come in form of the sweet dreams. So lovely objects, lovely things gives us full of sweet dreams. Or we can say a joy a person gets by visualizing a beautiful thing is similar to the joy of sound with sweet dreams. So, in the entire paragraph, the poet is speaking of the permanent nature of the beautiful things, which gives us the unending joy, which gives us the eternal joy. Their loveliness keeps on increasing, it never fades away. The everlasting beautiful sight of the beautiful things is stored, is kept in a precious place in our memory. It holds a special place in our memory, we can say. They gives us peace, just like a quiet shady place gives us a sleep full of sweet dreams. A sound sleep results in the good health. When you have a good sleep at night, that time you will see the next morning when you get up, you feel very good. Your health, your mind, everything remains happy. पूरा दिन भर आप लोग आराम से सारा काम कर सकते हो. So if you have a sound sleep at night, the next morning your health, your body, your mind, everything remains in a good condition. It provides us the tranquility and mental peace. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. When we wake up in the next morning, after a sound sleep, all the beautiful memories of our sweet dreams help us to strengthen our bond with the earth. A natural object in the form of a flower. When we see a flower, it gives us energy. It strengthens us. Our attachment. It strengthens our attachment to the earth. Flowers are nature's best morning gifts, we can say. Spite of despondence of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching. So, when we have a nice sound sleep at night, next morning I said that you will be feeling very goody-goody. That means your mind, your health, everything remains in a good condition. So when our dreams help us to strengthen our bond with the earth, because here why the poet is saying so? Because the poet feels that every morning we prepare a wreath of flowers that binds us to the earth more strongly. Hopelessness, sadness, and lack of noble ways. Okay, that is, we can say despair, dejection, and pessimism. These are all prevailing around the world. And there is a shortage, huge shortage, we can say, of what? Of the generous people, of the good people. Wherever we see, we find very less people are good at heart and mind. Everywhere we find the cruelty, we can say. For that reason, the gloomy days, that is the sad days, dismal, troubles, difficulties, those days, unhealthy days, darkened ways, those things are always prevailing also. So in this journey of the life of the human beings, we say that it encounters the trials, tribulations, adversities. So here, life is full of trials and tribulations, lost faith and disappointments. Then what happens? What it results into? Which it results from our own doings. Whatever we do, accordingly we get. We are harming ourselves by following the unhealthy and wicked paths. We are harming ourselves by doing the wrong deeds in this world. It is written there, you see, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. That means, in spite of all this, in spite of experiencing this sadness and remorse, this man, this human being is able to find his happiness. Where? In what form? In form of beauty. In spite of all this, still there are some wonderful sights of nature that helps us to shed out this sadness, these grim thoughts. That is our nature. Form of beauty means through the nature only we can get our happiness. Beautiful object removes the cloud or the curtain of the darkness. Pall, that is thick dark cloud or shroud. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear reels that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. The mid forest brake, rich with the sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So, what is the poet trying to say here? The poet is trying to list the objects of the beauty. It is making a list of things that has the beauty in it. What are those things we see? Some are the heavenly bodies, such as sun, the moon. It is written such the sun, the moon. These are the heavenly bodies we can say. Sun, the moon, old and young trees, which provides shade to the sheep. The daffodils, the beautiful flowers we can say. Daffodils, the greenery surrounding them, the nature surrounding them. Along with that, what are the more things? That is the cool and the clear streams which provides a respite in the heat, relaxation in the heat. Those things together, these are the things that the poet is trying to make out a list, we can say. These daffodils are encased in the green leaves discovered, and the true joy and happiness can be enjoyed by looking at those daffodils. Because daffodils, the color of the flower is covered with the lush green meadows and pastures. The reels of the streams flow through the shady passage, which actually gives a relaxation, which cools down the heat of the nature. The mid forest brake, rich with the sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Here in the thick forest, the bushes are covered with the scented flowers, the flowers having a beautiful fragrance. It seems that the flowers have been just sprinkled on the bushes. With you all must be aware or must have seen this musk roses blooming, isn't it? These are the eternal sources of the joy and pleasure that the nature is giving us. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read, and an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens' brink. Now, here, the blossoming of beauty is to be experienced in the grandeur of the death of those mighty and powerful kings and knights who fought very bravely and died a noble deaths. That means here the poet is trying to add on to further to this list. What is this list? According to him, there is the beauty even in death. That means those people have sacrificed their life, who have faced the death for the good of others. Their deaths are beautiful. Many people die. Those who are born, they will die. But how many of us are counting or remembering the people, those who have died? Even we may not be knowing those people, only must have seen or read in the books. But when we listen about their deaths, we shed tears. That makes their death beautiful, we can say. He finds beauty in the imaginary stories people have made about our dead ancestors who were deemed as heroic and mighty. As I said, the death of those mighty and powerful kings and knights who fought bravely and died noble deaths. Their deaths are told as noble deaths. So the beauty is visible. Where? In the tragedies. When we come to know about the tragic ends, we admire their ends, those mighty souls who have sacrificed their life for the sake of the people. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens' brink. Now, here the poet goes on to say that all those lovely tales that we have heard can also be placed among the things of the beauty. How? As they have a sublime effect on the human spirit. Beautiful things like those endless fountain from the heavens. Who has sent those endless fountain? God has sent himself. Why? So that the mankind might enjoy those precious gifts, the beautiful objects, the fountain falling from the edge of the heaven, which we receive as the elixir of the life. Beautiful objects, these gifts are sent by God himself because he has showered them from the heaven so that the mankind may enjoy these precious gifts. Now let us know about the poetic devices used in this poem. The first thing is about the theme of the poem. That is, the happiness of anything beautiful. I repeat, the happiness of anything beautiful provides, never fades into nothingness, but multiplies manifolds whenever it returns to our mind. That is the theme of the poem. Now hold your pencils in your hands and try to underline the things what I am saying as the poetic devices. First, we are going to mark the metaphor. What is that? Metaphor. Okay. First one underline bower quiet. It refers to the quiet shady part in the gardens. You underline bower quiet, that is metaphor. Sweet dreams, metaphor. Wreathing a flowery band, that is also a metaphor. Pal, metaphor. Endless fountain of immortal drink, that is metaphor again. Okay, now we are coming for alliteration. What is alliteration? Do we have the alliteration there? See if you can find out the alliteration. Noble natures, NN. Cooling covert. Band to bind. That is alliteration. NN in the first thing, noble natures. Cooling covert, CC. Band to bind, BB. Those are all alliteration. Then again we are coming to imagery. Okay, start. Flowery bands, shady boon, clear rails, daffodils in green world, grandeur of dooms, cooling covert, endless fountain of eternal drink. These are all your imagery. Flowery bands, shady boon, clear rails, daffodils in green world, grandeur of dooms, cooling covert, endless fountain of eternal drink. Next we are coming for symbols. Simple shape. Actually a simple shape symbol क्यों है? Because it refers to mankind as Christ is considered the shepherd here. He is leading the human souls out of the dark world of sins and temptations. For that reason, it is known as the symbols. Next one is gloomy days. That is unhealthy and over darkened ways. Those are the gloomy days. Okay. Then what is the next one? Anything else we left, children? I think we are done with another one left for us, that is mighty dead. Mighty dead. That is your, what is that last one what we were discussing? Symbol. Okay. Your transferred epithet is also there, children. Transferred epithet, that is another thing, poetic device, that is gloomy days and mighty dead. These two are transferred epithet. With this, we come to the end of the poem, that is a thing of beauty